Before I dive in today, I want to let those of you with a 2.5 to 6 year old know that I will be offering my preschool sleep program with 6 special Zoom coaching sessions during the month of September. So you can purchase your preschool sleep champion course at any time, but I will only be offering coaching sessions along with the program 3 times per year. So, if you're interested in learning more about the September coaching group, please visit AllisonEgidi.com/, preschool sleep coaching. Okay, on to today's episode. As I was preparing for this episode, I was seeing friends in other parts of the country post back to school pictures of their kids. So while my girls won't be starting school for another week or so, I realize many children are already back in school. So whether you're preparing to send your child back to school or you're already in the throes of the new school year, this episode will help you think about optimal sleep as it relates to school. Hi, I'm Allison Egidi, a pediatric sleep and wellness coach and a mom of two. I love to help parents find solutions. This is How Long Till Bedtime. Last month, the American Academy of Pediatrics published the results of a study related to sleep duration and kindergarten adjustment. The objective was to examine linkages between children's sleep duration and children's socio emotional, learning engagement, executive functioning, and academic outcome across the full kindergarten year. The study, which included 221 children, showed that regularity of nighttime sleep in which children slept 10 or more hours per night, especially during the pre K year, consistently predicted more favorable kindergarten outcomes in both socio emotional, learning engagement, and academic domains. The results suggested that establishing healthy nighttime sleep habits before kindergarten started was especially promotive of better kindergarten adjustment across the entire kindergarten year. This was not surprising to me, of course, but I'm going to link to the piece in the show notes so that you can read more about the study and the findings. As you can imagine, I am talking about this all the time with parents and how sleep can improve school performance. Because I hear from the parents I work with that their children are adjusting to change in new environments more easily, and they're retaining more of what they're learning at school after we improve their sleep habits, which generally includes getting them more sleep. So I was happy to see this study because I think it's a good reminder as to just how important sleep is for our young children as it relates to this adjustment into a new school year and to school performance. And when it comes to starting a new school year, it's pretty common that our children's sleep schedules need a little adjusting in order for them to get the optimal amount of night sleep. Many families, including my own, have been more relaxed with sleep schedules over the summer since our kids don't need to be getting up early every single morning. So many young children are going to need to wake much earlier than they've been used to in the recent weeks or months once school starts. I know that there are elementary age children in my neighborhood who board the school bus before 7 a.m. So, needing to wake at 6 a.m. can be a really rude awakening, pun intended, if you have a child whose sleep schedule has included sleeping in much later than that. So, how do you know how much sleep your child truly needs to really perform well in school and to adjust well to this new school year? And how do you adjust their schedule if you know it needs some tweaking? The exact amount of sleep that your child needs is the amount that allows them to be happy, alert, and focused at school. and it allows them to come home without crumbling into a tired mess. But I always find it helpful to have ranges in mind. So I'm going to share some with you, but know that they're kind of big. So you really need to hone in on your child's specific needs. So it is recommended that children between the age of 2 and 3 years old get 10 and a half to 12 hours of sleep each night. That children between the age of 3 and 6 years old get 10 to 12 hours of sleep each night. And children between the age of 7 and 13 years old get 9 to 11 hours of sleep each night. As a point of reference, my 8-year-old is her best little self when she gets 11 to 11 and a half hours of sleep. And my 9.5-year-old is her best little self when she gets 10 to 10 and a half hours of sleep. So they're 18 months apart, but there's a pretty wide range there, a full hour in how much sleep they need. Can they get by on less? Yes, they certainly can, and they have been during many parts of this summer. But when it comes to the school year, my goal will be at least 11 hours for Ainsley and at least 10 hours for Addison, because that's going to allow them to perform their best in school and to enjoy the school year. When they get overtired, that's when we start to resist school. It's like, I don't want to do my homework. I don't want to go to school today. That really only happens when they're tired. So sleep makes the school year more enjoyable for them and for me. So, in addition to your child's behavior indicating that they are well rested, another really key indicator is if you need to wake your child up before school. You really want your child waking naturally in the morning. The truth is, this is what we want for all of us. We really don't want to have to be woken up by alarms because that's an indicator that we are short on sleep. So if you need to wake your child fairly regularly to get ready for school, I assure you that they could benefit from more sleep. And I'd strongly recommend having them go to bed earlier to make that happen. Now, let's talk about what shifting a sleep schedule can look like. If your child isn't already back in school, I recommend using the 3 to 7 days leading up to the first day of school to adjust their body to a new sleep schedule. So you know the time that they're going to need to get up in the morning on a school day, and I want you to back into that ideal bedtime based on how much sleep you anticipate them needing. Of course, you can further adjust once school starts, but you're going to have a basic idea. So here's an example. If your child has been going to bed at, say, 8:30 or 9 p.m., and you realize, like my Ainsley, that she needs to be going to bed between 7 and 7:30, and that's going to be the ideal bedtime when school starts. So what I would suggest you do is that you start to shift your child's bedtime earlier by about 20 to 30 minutes every 1 to 2 nights as that first day of school approaches. So the bigger shift you need to make, the more of a runway you want, ideally. So the key to this shift working is going to be you waking your child that 20 to 30 minutes earlier the morning before each shift. So if your child's been waking up at 8 a.m., and you're going to shift that bedtime 30 minutes earlier, you'll wake your child at 7:30 the morning before you make the shift. And then before each additional shift, if more are needed, you're going to wake them that much earlier. So if you're going to shift it another 20 minutes earlier, you're going to shift the wake up 20 minutes earlier. So we're going to shift everything back so that by the time school starts, they're waking very close, if not at the time they need to for school, and you've backed them into that ideal bedtime or at least close to it. Now, if school has already started and you didn't have time to ease into this earlier bedtime, just dive right in to that early bedtime. That is going to help your child not build up a bunch of sleep debt right out of the gate for the school year. So I assure you that after a couple days back at school, your child is going to be ready to go to bed earlier if you've been waking them up to go to school or if they're coming home a hot mess. Once you've backed their bedtime up early enough that your child is no longer needing to be woken up in the morning and they're happy and alert throughout the day, you've probably found the sweet spot bedtime. And for those of you with early risers, that no matter what time you put them to bed, they're going to wake up, you'll want to use your child's behavior to help you decide on the bedtime that's best during the school year. You want a bedtime that allows them to get within those ranges I previously mentioned and really allows them to be their happy, best little selves all day. You really need their behavior to help you decide what is the optimal amount of sleep. So that will be the behavior you see and most likely the feedback you're receiving from school. Being well rested is going to help your child and you adjust to the start of a new school year. Getting the proper amount of sleep will also help your child behave well, listen well, perform well, and just enjoy school more. I see it with my kids all the time. If you are looking for some help to teach your preschooler or early elementary age child better sleep habits, consider joining our September coaching group or feel free to reach out to me. Thanks again for joining me today. Next week, I'll be talking about bedtime snacks and how to help your child shift away from them. I hope you'll join me again or share this episode with someone you know. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to How Long Till Bedtime. To learn how we can work together to improve your child's sleep, please visit sleepandwellnesscoach.com.